People used to treat me like I was nothing, a ghost in a world of gleaming luxury. For years, that ghost was Marcus Johnson, a talented automotive engineer reduced to fixing broken-down cars in a worn trailer in Sunset Valley Park. I had lost my dignity when Almeida Motors let me go, not because of my skills, but because I supposedly intimidated the elite clientele. Today, as the sun sets behind the mountains, I find myself reflecting on a moment that would change everything. Migrated Christine, a well-dressed woman whose luxury Range Rover sputtered to a halt near my trailer. At first glance, she seemed like the embodiment of my failures. But as I helped her with her overheated engine, a spark ignited between us. Little did I know she was the director of operations at Sinway Technologies, the very company responsible for my downfall years ago. The tangled threads of our lives were about to unravel. As she learned about my mechanical prowess, I grappled with memories of a past where my innovations were stolen, and I had to watch as my reputation crumbled. But Christine's interest in my insights hinted at an unexpected path, perhaps a chance for redemption. With my daughter Zoe pushing me forward, I decided to confront my past and accept Christine's offer for a consulting role. It was a gamble, a dance with a ghost, and I had no idea how it would culminate. What unfolded would not only allow me to reclaim my legacy, but also to redefine an entire industry. Jumping into the challenges ahead, I felt the embers of hope ignite, promising that from the depths of despair, I could rise, wielding the power of innovation and a newfound sense of justice. "Marcus, I'm sorry, but we can't keep you on," Mr. Almeida insisted, perched behind his massive oak desk as though it were a fortress. "Your demeanor, it just doesn't sit right with our clientele. They want luxury, and frankly, you look too intimidating." Marcus felt the heat rise in his cheeks, his hands clenched into fists at his sides. "Intimidating?" he echoed, incredulity lining his voice. "Just because I'm a black man in a shop full of white faces?" Mr. Almeida's dismissive wave cut through the air. "It's not personal, Marcus. It's business. You simply don't fit the image we're trying to project." "Not personal?" Marcus laughed bitterly, feeling the sting of humiliation. "You're throwing me out because of how I look? That's more than just business. Look, it's nothing against your skills, you're talented, but, well, you know how people are. It's all about perception," Mr. Almeida said, his eyes flicking away from Marcus's gaze. Marcus stood there, frozen, the weight of the world crashing down on him. "I worked hard for you, Mr. Almeida. I dedicated my life to this place, and all I get is this? It's done, Marcus. Just pack your things and—" "Pack my things?" he spat, frustration boiling over. "You're throwing me out like yesterday's trash, all because you're scared of what I represent. Please, I don't want to argue, just leave quietly." Ulax, the finality in Mr. Almeida's voice cut through Marcus like a knife. As he turned away, disappointment mingled with simmering anger, leaving a bitter taste of injustice lingering on his tongue. The weight of resentment coiled tightly in Marcus's chest, a constant reminder of the injustices he had faced. He sat on the edge of his bed in the trailer, the musty air filled with memories of past glories, now overshadowed by present struggles. The news of his dismissal from Almeida Motors haunted him, echoing in his mind like a cruel joke. Too intimidating, they had said, a label that cut deeper than any failure. He had lost more than just a job. It felt as if he had lost his place in the world. While he fiddled with a wrench that had once felt empowering in his hands, memories of brighter days flickered across his mind, days spent innovating mechanical designs at Sinway Technologies. The betrayal stung particularly sharp when Christine arrived, elegant and seemingly worlds away from his own shambles. She stood there, helpless yet dignified, as he got to work on her overheated Range Rover. The brief connection between them felt electric, but when she mentioned Sinway, a familiar darkness washed over him again. Her offer to re-engage with the company felt easier in that moment, yet the anger stirred within him like a storm ready to unleash. Days passed, tangled in indecision, until the message came through. A chance to revisit that dark place, to find closure buried in the rubble of resentment. But that meeting had unraveled him instead. The smirk from James Sinway, the hushed whispers, the laughter echoing through the halls. It shattered something deep within. As Marcus stood defeated amidst the chaos, a flicker of determination ignited. This humiliation would not define him. It was time to reclaim not just his reputation, but his spirit. Today, the simmering rage found its voice. The sun pierced through the morning haze as Marcus tightened his grip on the wrench, determination sparking in his eyes. "I'm not just fixing cars, I'm rebuilding me," he murmured to himself, recalling the night's doubts. Christine returned to the trailer, her designer heels clicking against the gravel. "Are you sure about this, Marcus?" she asked, concern woven into her tone. "Yes," he said firmly, a hint of steel in his voice. "Let me show you what I can do." He leaned against the worn toolbox, feeling the weight of his past shift slightly, like a loosened sediment. As they worked on the Quantum ZX specs together, he found solace in their collaborative banter, something he hadn't experienced in years. "I know how to fix this," he stated, drawing diagrams with sharp lines, exuding a newfound confidence. Christine nodded, impressed and intrigued. "People respect innovation," she commented, her eyes lighting up, "and they'll notice your ideas." That day, Marcus not only detailed systems but transformed. Each engineer's nod and Christine's attentive listening marked small victories against long-held shadows. Later, as he prepared to present his solution, he whispered to himself, "They won't silence me again." At the launch event, he stood at the podium, heart pounding but steady in stance. "What I bring is more than technology, it's integrity." His voice echoed through the room, and for the first time, he felt the tremors of respect rather than ridicule. It was a quiet reclaiming, but the impact was undeniable. Marcus Johnson was rising, driven by clarity, courage, and stealthy strategy, one unwavering step at a time. As the event unfolded, the air inside the Cineway Technologies conference room throbbed with tension. The launch crowd outside had swelled, buzzing with anticipation for the Quantum ZX, a pinnacle of engineering the company marketed as the future. James Cineway, poised with arrogance, took center stage, his smirk betraying the underhanded tactics he deployed to overshadow Marcus Johnson's legacy. But as the moment grew ripe for James's self-congratulation, Marcus stepped forward. Quiet and resolute, the crowd hushed, turning to face the man they had overlooked. With his heart pounding, Marcus unfurled the damning documents Dr. Wong had slipped him moments before. A cascade of whispers rippled through the crowd as he revealed the truth behind the Quantum ZX. Stolen technology and lab reports altered to hide Cineway's unscrupulous maneuvers. James's confident facade shattered. "You're lying," he barked. But the oxygen left his voice as the tide turned in favor of Marcus, who stood unflinching amidst the uproar. A backdrop of murmured outrage filled the room. The elite audience, once enamored by Cineway's bravado, now awakened to the deceit behind the glimmering facade. Marcus's eyes met Christine's, a shared understanding igniting between them. While he stood in quiet triumph, his past encroaching yet powerless against the truth, James's gaze drifted from incredulity to despair. The once commanding executive began to unravel, his arrogance replaced by frantic attempts to salvage what little credibility remained. Clamoring for answers, Marcus continued, his voice steady. "Innovation isn't built on deceit, it thrives on integrity." The applause grew, reverberating like an anthem of justice, silencing James's frantic protests. As the crowd surged in Marcus's favor, the weight of empathy and triumph hung thick in the air. No longer the victim, Marcus had become the victor, his silent triumph resounding through the once dominant halls of Cineway Technologies. As the crowd turned from James, their whispers now echoed the hard truths Marcus had championed, their silent claps a testament to the victory of integrity over corruption. Standing at the edge of my trailer, I gaze out at Sunset Valley Park, the sun dipping below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. It's hard to believe how far I've come since that fateful day at Almeida Motors. I had felt defeated, tossed aside like yesterday's news, reduced to a label too intimidating. But when Christine arrived, everything shifted. Helping her wasn't just about fixing an engine, it reignited something within me. A chance to reclaim my voice, my worth. Looking back, I realize each struggle only fortified my resolve. The confrontation with Cineway wasn't just about vengeance, it was about taking back my narrative and restoring the dignity I'd lost. Armed with the truth, I dug deep, not only for myself but for others who felt voiceless. As I reflect on this journey, I wonder, do you think I went too far? I invite you to share your thoughts and experiences. Have you ever faced a similar situation? Let's engage and weigh in on the complexities of justice and empowerment. Your voice matters.